By passing this gate, I've just crossed a secret land border between the UK and the USA, because this 1 acre of land near London is officially US territory, at least according to every single source I could find, including the sign outside warning me that I was about to enter American soil, and perhaps even more authoritatively, Queen Elizabeth II.
This acre of English soil is now bequeathed in perpetuity to the American people.
So, according to Her late Majesty herself, I've just walked from the UK to the US in one step. But can that really be true? And why would there be a US exclave here, of all places? It's an intriguing story in the history of the special relationship between our two countries, and it goes back to a tragedy that hit both sides of the Atlantic hard.
Freedom is indivisible, and when one man is enslaved, all are not free.
During his lifetime, John F. Kennedy's projection of American ideals was supposed to usher in a new era of post-war hope, liberty, and unity. But of course, we never got to see that, and instead his assassination was the starting gun for a tense decade during which the country looked like it might eat itself alive. His sudden death in November 1963 sent the whole Western world into mourning, including our very own Queen.
The unprecedented intensity of that wave of grief was a measure of the high hopes that rode with him in a future that was not to be.
The two of them sadly only met once during a state visit early in his tenure, but it's clear that even their brief interactions made a lasting impression on the young Queen because she selected the perfect symbolic location to build a memorial to him, here in Runnymede, just down the Thames from Windsor Castle. This is the exact same park where 750 years ago, the King of England signed the Magna Carta, which was an absolutely monumental event. By passing this act, King John became the first monarch to limit his own absolute power and proclaim that even he wasn't above the law. He agreed to accept advice from a council and even granted rights, like the right to a trial before your peers, to other people. It was still a pretty exclusive club back then, but over time, this is the system that has evolved into fully elected governments and declarations of universal human rights that have since been replicated all around the world. So if you like elected governments, human rights and freedom, then you are directly drawing on a heritage that started right here at Runnymede. And to my American viewers, I'm led to believe that you guys love elected governments, human rights and freedom. So what better place for a heartfelt memorial to one of your late presidents? After traversing the stones representing the huddled masses that arrived in and built America, you must then climb 50 steps, one for each of the 50 United States. They're deliberately uneven and misaligned, demonstrating that the path to liberty was not straightforward. And you walk under tree species native to both Britain and America, including the scarlet oak, which turns blood red in autumn, around the anniversary of JFK's death. And then at the top, a hawthorn branch extends across the path, forcing you to bow in respect as you approach this, the JFK Memorial Stone. The stone block is from the same quarry as the bricks in St. Paul's Cathedral, and the bottom bears part of his inauguration address.
We shall pay any price, bear any burden, meet any hardship, support any friend, oppose any foe, to assure the survival and the success of liberty.
But what's perhaps most fascinating is the top line right here, saying that this land has been given to the United States. Can this actually be correct that I've just entered the US in a random forest outside of London? During her moving dedication speech at a ceremony that was attended by Jackie, their two surviving children, and Robert and Ted Kennedy, the Queen made a bold statement.
This acre is now bequeathed in perpetuity to the American people.
And then the British government passed the JFK Memorial Act 1964, saying that a site at Runnymede is to be transferred to and vested in the United States of America in perpetuity. And then, of course, the Queen signed that act because that's how our laws still work. So the full machinery of British government literally gave this land to the Americans. Way more so than things like air bases or embassies, which are just temporarily leased but still on British soil. Which actually really surprised me. I originally came here for a kind of map nerd's day out, thinking that it would all be symbolic. But if that's symbolic, what would real even look like? what more would Britain do to actually give land to another country? And so I've kind of become more convinced that this whole thing was actually done officially, that on that day the Queen did expand the US's global territory by 1 acre, and that this genuinely is a UK-US border. It's just that it's obviously one that holds no economic value worthy of putting up fences or security checks for. So we all agree to pretend like it isn't, because we all know that any legal matters that did occur here would just be forwarded to the UK jurisdiction. But, you know, even though there's no Dunkin' Donuts or drive-through ATMs here, I do kind of feel like this is the only place where you can cross from the UK to the US with one step. And even if you disagree, if you say that it was symbolic all along, then I do still think it's significant. I mean, how often do you see countries making such dignified, moving gestures to foreign leaders like that? If you like this video, then please remember to subscribe for more. And you can click here to watch another video about a niche border, this time me going to an island that the British Empire lost to Germany permanently. No technicalities, no nothing.